तेरा दिया गरादा तेरा दिया गरादा लोनी तेरा दिया गरादा नालोनी तिरुपति वेंकटरमण मत्सरमनु तेरा दिया राधा नालोनी तिरुपति वेंकटरमण मत्सरमनु तेरा दिया राधा परम पुरुष धर्मादि मोक्ष मूल पारदोलुचुन्नदिनालोनी तिरदीयग राधा नालोनी तिरुपति वेंकटरमण मत्सरमनु तिरदीयग राधा వాగురబడి తెలియక మృగఘనమును వచ్చిత కురురీతియున్నది వేగమే నీ పదమునను సరించిన త్యాగరాజనుత మదమత్సరమను తెరదీయగ రాధా నాలోని తిరుపతి వెంకటరమణ మత్సరమను తెరదీయగ రాధా Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste everybody. Welcome to session 6 SvAnubhava of the series of lecture demonstrations sampradAyEna samudhbhavam, revival through tradition. In this composition in Ragam Gauli Pantu, Saint Tyagaraja is seeking Venkatesha, Tirupati Venkatesha's blessings to remove the wheel of jealousy, which he claims is holding him back or limiting him from the dharma and moksha and several other good deeds which can possibly give him clarity in his mind. In today's session, we will see how SvAnubhava is connected back to our first session, Bhakti. Through this journey of sampradAyEna samudbhavam, I have been able to connect with my roots, connect and understand my traditions, and also connect with people. This platform that has been created by NESRS Brindavan is a great opportunity for us teachers to bring people together to share energy, information, knowledge, and experiences. In our first session, we talked about Bhakti. I would like to take you through the journey of what we have been doing so far. As you can see, the first session, Bhakti, led us to dig a little deeper to understand the different art forms that gave way for Bhakti, which again gave us way to understand the different contributions by different composers in the session Vagyekara. After that, we went to explore and understand the purpose behind these art forms and the creations of great composers, Karana, which again led us to understanding the Swarupa, the true form, in two different categories, Samrupa and Prarupa, of different art forms, mainly Carnatic music, and which has led us towards the exploration of svAnubhava. So, as you can see, each of these topics are interrelated, and svAnubhava is again connected to bhakti. And today we are actually going to see how. Anubhava means experience. svAnubhava means personal experience. And it is actually quite hard to be able to see somebody's personal experience from their eyes. Even when composers, great saints, or our own great grandfathers and ancestors, or any way of sharing that happens from their experiences, we only get a glimpse of their experience. And that drop of their experience adds to our journey. And such droplets lead us to the ocean of exploration about the existence. And that becomes our journey, and that becomes our experience, which is svAnubhava. Svānubhava, in broader term, I would say, for especially this particular platform or this particular session, I would say is more towards the experience of the divine. We all have personal experiences in many different things. And what we connect is through our emotions. We are all emotional beings. And we are going to today see how art forms and tradition give way for personal experience, how they can help in creating identity and also give scope to contribute, how it creates opportunities to perform, learn, and explore, how they become a medium to help the society with services known as seva to the needy. Art forms greatly help in creating a balance between our inner self and outer self and around us by helping us put things in perspective. Let us explore this a little bit. We talked about the three very important fine art forms. In the Lalita Kala, we talked about music, dance, drama. Let us see how we can find balance in drama, theater. So when you take the role of different characters, you play different emotions, and you need to understand, or you come to understand, to strike a balance between fantasy, imagination, and reality. In dance, we have the Navarasas. We have Navarasas present in every one of our lives. Shringara, romance; Hasya, laughter; Karuna, mercy; Raudra, anger; Veera, bravery; Bhayanaka, fear; Bhibhatsya, disgust; Adbhuta, wonder or surprise; Shanta, peace. How can we strike a balance among these rasas? When it comes to karuna, we often misinterpret it with self pity. We show karuna towards us. Karuna is an emotion to be shown outside of us. When it comes to Raudra, we do the opposite. We show anger at other people. In fact, we should be showing anger towards self for not doing what is in our control or for doing something that shouldn't have been done. Veera, the best way to talk about this is people have interesting ways of showing how brave they are, like going out in this pandemic without masks and not paying heed to personal hygiene and not respecting other people's um, values or emotions towards this current situation. So that is not being brave, in my opinion. So we misinterpret these rasas. Bhaya, bhayanaka. We often fear the unknown, whereas the unknown is going to be unknown. That is a known fact. The only known is you. And when you are not afraid of your own actions and the consequences of it, it is going to create imbalance. So, in my perspective, I would say being afraid of our actions and the consequences thereof is very important to inculcate. Bhibatsya. So we get disgusted with outside of us all the time, but we need to often revisit what we have done, what we have spoken, what we have not done. And of course, Bhibatsya is a very important emotion. You need to understand that you have to be hard on yourself and tell you the right things and guide yourself towards the right path. Instead, we often show it towards other people, which is futile in my opinion. Adbhuta is a very important, Adbhuta, Shringara, these are very important emotions. And then Shanta, of course, peace, peace within us and peace outside of us. So these Navarasas, you come to realize how misplaced they are in our perspectives and how we can find a balance by putting them in the right order. When it comes to music, there are a lot of things that can help us find balance, but the very two main aspects will be the Kalpita Sangeetam and Manodharma Sangeetam that was discussed in the previous session. It is important to strike a balance between what is available as facts and knowledge in this world and what your intellect can do with the knowledge and facts that are available, and how to strike a balance between the two. None of us are swayambhus. Swayambhus meaning whatever we have come to know or whatever we think we know is not something that happened on our own or on its own in our brains. So we are a product of uh, to to first start, it is our family, our parents. We are a product of our extended family, and then becomes our friends, and then the community, the society, and different parts of the world. So we cannot claim that what we know is all our own. So it is important to strike a balance between what our mind or brain can do with the acquired knowledge, and to strike a balance between the two is between the facts and the creativity is very important, and we get to learn that from music. Art forms greatly help us experience bhakti through various um, compositions, various explorations, and various experiences. So, bhakti, I would like to rephrase this from the first session. I had mentioned something about bhakti yoga. I would like to rephrase it as bhakti instead of bhakti yoga, because bhakti is the state of mind where you experience the divine through either karma yoga or jnana yoga. And you can choose one or the other, or they can both be integrated together. But this has been very beautifully explained in many scriptures. And if you seek and dig deeper, you will definitely get the answers. So to be able to strike a balance in general, one needs to let go of ego. And because only with ego, like Tyagaraja pointed out, jealousy is, limiting him. And jealousy comes from ego. All these different emotions come from ego. And to let go of ego and to surrender ego is the only way to go in the path towards experiencing bhakti. And the best way to surrender ego is to seek a guru who can guide us spiritually. And art forms and traditions, they give way and create ways in which one can easily go in the spiritual path. Srimati Ranjani Saigal just joined us. I welcome you, Ranjani and Anilji. What an honor to have you here amidst us in this session. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time. Namaste, Ranjani.
Namaste, Aparna. What a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Thank you. It means a lot to all of us that you are here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, as I was mentioning, to surrender ego is the best way to go towards the experience of the divine, which is bhakti. And that can be easily achieved by seeking a guru. And the guru will guide us, and the guru will give us the right direction towards realizing self. In one of Tyagaraja's compositions, నీ నామముచే నామది నిర్మలమయ్యున్నది నీ నామముచే నామది నిర్మలమయ్యున్నది జ్ఞానమొసగరాదా గరుడగమనవాద జ్ఞానమొసగరాదా So he is seeking jnana, and he says, because of chanting your name so often, day in and day out, my mind has become crystal clear. And he says, none of what is happening around me matters. Everything is Maya. And why am I being sucked into this illusion? Please remove it. Remove all the things that are limiting me from understanding who I am and my existence here. And please give me jnana, the clarity. So he's chanting Rama's nama. He's, uh, you know, uh, singing in praise of Lord Rama. He's describing Lord Rama. So all he did was try to connect to the Supreme. And that was his way of experiencing the divine. We have many saints and many composers and many gurus who have gone the path of jnana yoga, seeking the knowledge, seeking the truth. And that gave them the clarity, and that gave them the experience of the divine. So karma yoga, jnana yoga, both can take us towards experience of the divine, which is bhakti. We have various traditions to be connected to the divine. We do puja, abhishekam, aradhana, we do chanting, we do dancing, we do singing, we do seva. All of this come under the karma yoga. And the effort to connect our actions to the divine. When mind gets clarity of the Maya, the illusion, we are automatically connected to the divine. This experience of the divine is bhakti. So, when we seek a guru, guru guides us towards the path of dharma. Guru removes the illusion of self, which manifests as ego, and Guru also removes the illusion or the ignorance that we have about self. So, great artists and composers have tried their best to somehow attain mukti from the worldly affairs. ಮೋಕ್ಷಮು ಗಲಯದ ಮೋಕ್ಷಮು ಗಲಯದ ಮೋಕ್ಷಮು ಗಲಯದ ಭುವಿಲೋ జీవన్ ముక్తులు గాని వారలకు మోక్షము గలయద. So he is asking, is there any way to get mukti, to get rid of these worldly things? Is there something that can give us moksha? Is there any other thing other than music which connects us directly to Lord Shiva, who is the Lord of Nada? How can we not sing in praise of the Supreme? How can we not be, uh, connected through music to the Supreme? And how can we expect to get mukti? Constant pondering upon the existence. This is something great composers and their contributions to art forms have come in display, and they come from different region, in different languages, in different time period, and they all seek the same thing, which is experiencing the divine. Their paths have been similar, and they found that if we ponder upon the same questions, you get the answers one way or the other. Now, this will be demonstrated by Mahati Atreya in the song that's coming.
Okay, namaste everyone. I will be presenting Ikagavalasina Demi, which is the composition of Sri Tyagaraja set to Aditalam, and it is in Ragam Balahamsa. So before I sing the song, I just want to talk a little bit about the meaning of the song, and I will just read the meaning from a very authentic source that we have, and I really think this meaning kind of goes really well with what Amma has been talking about thus far. So he says, "O mind, what blessings can one aspire for? Why don't you remain happy? Narayana, the Almighty, the ruler of the universe, resides in your heart. He, Sitapati, is ever ready to annihilate the extensive forest of your cumulative sins over earlier lives by his sword. The sun and moon constitute his eyes in splendor and brilliance, which will dispel the abysmal darkness of lust, greed, and other enemies plaguing your senses. He is installed in your heart, committed to look after your welfare and fulfill your desires. Can there be anything else to ask for?" ಇಕಗಾವಲಸಿನದೇಮಿ ಮನಸ ಇಕಗಾವಲಸಿನದೇಮಿ ಮನಸ ಸುಖಮುನನುಂಡವ ದೇಮಿ ಮನಸ ಇಕಗಾವಲಸಿನದೇಮಿ ಮನಸ ಸುಖಮುನನುಂಡವ देमि मनसा इक गावलसिन देमि अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नाथुडु अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नाथुडु अंतरंगमुन నెలకొనియుండగ ఇకగా వలసిన దేమి మనసా సుఖమునందవ దేమి మనసా ఇకగా వలసిన దేమి ముందటి జన్మములను చేసిన అఘ బృంద విపిన మూలకు ముందటి జన్మములను చేసిన అఘ బృంద విపిన మూలకు ఆనంద కందుడైన సీతాపతియని ఆనంద కందుడైన సీతాపతియని నందగాయుతుడైయుండగ ఇకగా వలసినదేమి మనసా సుఖమునందవ దేమి మనసా ఇకగా వలసినదేమి. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mahati. That was beautiful. So today's demonstrations will mainly have compositions that are more towards Atma Vicharam and also their questions about the existence. So we picked compositions that, in fact, students picked compositions that was, coming together towards today's topic, SVANubhava. We all want to be happy in life, and that's our goal, right? We want to be happy and we want to live worry free. And the easiest and best way to be happy is through gratitude. And this has been mentioned in many stories, itihasas, and many morals that you come across in life. Gratitude is the best form of happiness. And when we see people showing gratitude towards the blessings of Guru, that is some other level, right? So we now have Yashaswini, who will be sharing a composition of Uthukadu Venkatakavi about Jagat Guru Krishna. Enna punniyam seideno.
I'd like to thank Aparna and NESRS Vrindavan for this opportunity to be part of SVANubhava. I think this is a musical celebration of sorts, so I'm very grateful to be here in this session today. I will be starting with a Viritam, a shlokam on Swami Vedanta Desika. It extols his virtues and how he was a master disciple of Sri Ramanuja, or he fell in that lineage. And he is hailed as the lion among poets because of his innumerable compositions. Thanks to the divine grace of Lord Lakshmi Hayagriva, he has composed many compositions on the Lord in Srirangam as well as in Kanchi. And he is treated as one of the foremost gurus in the Sri Vaishnava sampradaya and hailed as a Vedantic guru because he lived a life of humility and he imparted all what he learned to his disciples, which is why he is also called Desikan, or a master teacher. Shri केसरी वेदान्ताचार्य वेदान्ताचार्य वर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ சத்குருநாதா என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ சத்குருநாதா எத்தனை தவம் செய்தேனோ நின்னருள் பெறவே என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ சத்குருநாதா எத்தனை தவம் செய்தேனோ நின்னருள் பெறவே என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ அண்ணரும் வேதங்கள் படித்து உணர்ந்தாலும் பண்ணரும் வேதங்கள் படித்து உணர்ந்தாலும் நின்னருள் இல்லா வீடு ஒன்றேக்கும் உதவாது நின்னருள் இல்லா வீடு ஒன்றேக்கும் உதவாது குரு தேவா 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 நின்னருள் பெறவே நான் என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ வாடிய பயிருக்கு பெய்யும் மழையை போலே வளர் முல்லை கோழி கோரு கோடு கிடைத்தார் போலே பாடிய பயிருக்கு பெய்யும் மழையை போலே வளர் முல்லை கோடி கோரு கோழு கிடைத்தார் போலே தேடியும் காணாத தீனமே குரு தேவா 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 நின்னருள் பெறவே நான் என்ன புண்ணியம் செய்தேனோ சத்குருநாதா
Thank you, Yashaswini. A beautiful shlokam and a beautiful rendition of Enna Punniyam Seideno Sadguru Natha. Here the composer is asking Jagadguru Shri Krishna that what good deed have I done in my previous births to be even able to think about you, to get your blessings, and to also be able to sing in praise of you. So it is said and believed that the first circle of devotees that Supreme likes to keep is the Bhagavatas, people who take his nama, people who sing in praise of the Supreme. So, I mean, that is said and believed, but we can clearly see that in this composition, this composer is giving us a glimpse of his personal experience of experiencing the divine, and he's outpouring his emotion into this song, thanking Krishna for giving him the blessing to think about Krishna, to be able to sing about Krishna. So he says it is so rare to find a guru like that, because if there is a creeper that needs a support, and if there is crops that need rain, and when at the right time when the rain comes, how good it would serve for the crops. It is as good as that for me, that you are giving me this blessing and my purpose is served. My purpose of being here in this world is served. So constant pondering and constant questioning about what am I doing in this world? Who am I? What is my journey? What is my path? What am I supposed to do? What is the meaning of my life? And what should I do to bring more meaning and purpose into my life? So these have been the questions constantly asked by so many composers and so many saints. And we come to see a little bit of what they have experienced. And that definitely adds to our journey. Thank you, Yashaswini, for singing this beautifully. So, if gratitude can actually give us happiness, what is stopping us from being worried all the time and stressed all the time in life? So, the primal emotion of us human beings is fear. And to be fearless, or if there is any such thing, we need to come to understand if there is anything like that, and what makes us truly afraid. We think it's the unknown. We think it is the lack of knowledge of what is coming. So, what is in store, what is coming is always the unknown, and we cannot fear that. But we can certainly fear the consequences of what we do or we don't do. Now we will come to see this in this beautiful composition in Ragam Kalyani, Anjike Yatakaya by Sudha Badri Narayana.
Namaskara. Thank you, Aparna and NESRS Vrindavana for giving me this opportunity to present Anjike Yatakaya in Ragam Kalyani, set to Mishra Chapu. Anjike Yatakaya Anjike Yatakaya Sajanarige ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜ್ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜ್ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಂಜೀವಿ ರಾಯರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಂಜೀವಿ ರಾಯರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಂಜೀವಿ ರಾಯರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜ್ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳವಳವಾದರೆ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳವಳವಾದರೆ ಹನುಮನ ನೆನೆದರೆ ಹಾರಿ ಹೋಗದೆ ಪಾಪ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳವಳವಾದರೆ ಹನುಮನ ನೆನೆದರೆ ಹಾರಿ ಹೋಗದೆ ಪಾಪ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಮಾಡುವ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಮಾಡುವ ಗುರುಮಾಧ್ವರಾಯರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗುರುಮಾಧ್ವರಾಯರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ ಸಜ್ಜನರಿಗೆ ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಯಾತ ಕೈಯ
Thank you, Sudha. That was very beautifully rendered. Thank you. I remember fondly learning this from Sri Neveli Santanagopalan sir, and little did I know about the depth of this song. So, Anjike Yata Kayya. So, as we were talking about this primal emotion of us human beings or any being, fear. Um, why fear? Anjike Yata Kayya. Sajjanarige, good people. That's the operative term here. So, good people meaning people who are aware of their actions, their thoughts, their deeds, and the consequences, and who are careful and who are also sensitive to people around them. So, Sajjanarige, there is no fear. So, if at all we are afraid, then that means something, right? We are not good people. We need to become good by doing more good deeds. So, we need to head towards being fearless. Sanjeeva Rayara Smarana Madida Mele. Any more, because once you have prayed to Sanjeeva Rayaro, Hanuman, Lord Hanuman, what is the real need of, or what is the purpose of being afraid? If you are anxious in your dreams, in your mind, does not the sin fly away when you think of Hanuman? Whether it is in your dreams or in reality, the minute you think of Lord Hanuman, Lord Saint Purandaradasa is telling, the worries, fear, anxiety, everything just vanishes. Of course, we have come across so many shlokas on Lord Anjaneya that he gives a lot of strength and he removes fear. So it is aptly brought out in this composition. Why fear? After you have prayed to Guru Madhvaraya, and if you have prayed to Guru Madhvaraya, he who worships Purandara Vithala all the time. So the main takeaway message from this composition would be to be careful of our actions, our deeds. So we take out the fear factor in our life, because fear or anxiety can really hinder us in many ways and constantly keep us worried and stressed. So it is so nice to see the journey or the experience of these great composers, saintly composers. And it is even more, you know, a pleasure, or, a blessing to see some contemporary composers who have been around in our times. So today we will be witnessing compositions of two contemporary composers, and we will also get an idea of what their journey or experience has been. So the next composition comes from Sri Ram Krishnamurti, Neelakantahara in the Ragam Chandrakons. When I heard this song, I just fell in love with it. It's a beautiful composition. So please listen to it. Sri Ram, on to you.
Namaste. Thank you, Aparna Auntie, and NESRS Brindavan for this opportunity. So, first off, I'd like to read off the meaning of this song. So, the Pallavi goes as follows: Blue-throated dancing Supreme Lord, wearing young waxing moon, the one who gave Muruga to us, come and protect us. The Anupallavi goes as follows: Aren't you the father of the world and the mother also? Your name comes from 5 syllables, Namah Shivaya. Ainkara also bows to you. And lastly, the Charanam. You are the God described by Mare or the Vedas. Be my guide in life. Married to Meenakshi, you wear Ganga in your matted hair. You enjoy being in Mailai or Mailapur temple. And you are also present in Kailasam. This is the meaning of the song. And as stated previously, it's composed by my grandmother, Dr. Tangam Parameshwaran, who is also a scientist by profession. Neelakantara Natana Shiva, Neelakantara Natana Shiva, ಬಾಲಚಂದ್ರಧರ ಪರಮಶಿವ ನೀಲಕಂಠರ ನಟನ ಶಿವ ಬಾಲಚಂದ್ರಧರ ಪರಮಶಿವ ನೀಲಕಂಠರ ನಟನ ಶಿವ ಬಾಲಚಂದ್ರಧರ ಪರಮಶಿವ ನೀಲಕಂಠರ ನಟನ ಶಿವ ಬಾಲಚಂದ್ರಧರ பரமசிவ கண்டனை தந்தபார் வந்தமே காக்கவா கண்டனை தந்தபார் வந்தமை காக்கவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா பாலச்சந்திரதர பரமசிவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா பூவுலகின் தந்தை நீயல்லவா 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 புனித தாயும் ஆனவா பூவுலகின் தந்தை நீயல்லவா புனித தாயும் ஆனவா ஐந்தில் உதிப்பவா அங்கரணம் துதிப்பவா ஐந்தில் உதிப்பவா அங்கரணம் துதிப்பவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா பாலச்சந்திரதர பரமசிவா கண்டனை தந்தவா வந்தமை காக்கவா கண்டனை தந்தவா வந்தமை காக்கவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா பாலச்சந்திரதர பரமசிவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா மறைகள் போற்றும் ஆனவா மார்கபந்துவாகவா மறைகள் போற்றும் ஆந்தவா மார்கபந்துவாகவா மறைகள் போற்றும் ஆந்தவா மார்கபந்துவாகவா மங்கை மீனாட்சியை மானந்தவா மங்கை மீனாட்சியை மானந்தவா மங்கை மீனாட்சியை மானந்தவா மங்கை மீனாட்சியை மானந்தவா கங்கையை சிகையில் ஆனந்தவா மங்கை மீனாட்சியை மானந்தவா கங்கையை சிகையில் மானிந்தவா மயிலையில் மகிழ்பவா திரு கைலையில் திகழ்பவா மயிலையில் மகிழ்பவா திரு கைலையில் திகழ்பவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா பாலச்சந்திரதர பரமசிவா கண்டனை தந்தவா வந்தமை காக்கவா கண்டனை தந்தவா வந்தமை காக்கவா நீலகண்டர நடன சிவா ಬಾಲಚಂದ್ರಧರ ಪರಮಶಿವಾ ನೀಲಕಂಠರ ನಟನ ಶಿವಾ Thank you.
Very nice, Shriram. Thank you very much for sharing this song. Dr. Tangam Parameshwaran, as Shriram mentioned, is a scientist by profession, and she has composed both music and lyrics in ragas familiar to the Carnatic music world in Sanskrit, Tamil, Telugu, and Hindi. And her mudra is Margabandhu. And if you are interested in listening to more of her compositions, you can definitely reach out to us. We will share the website information. Thank you. And this is a very interesting experience, because I have come across great contemporary composers in our times, like Lalgudi Sri G. Jayaraman. I've learned a few compositions under him, and T.R. Subramanian, and then Madurai T. Srinivasan. Not many people know of him. He was a great composer. He used to sing beautifully, and also he played the mridangam very, very well. And I have had the honor and privilege and the blessing to have performed with Madurai Shri T. Srinivasan sir. I would like to share a very famous composition of his. Mm, கருணை தெய்வமே கற்பகமே கருணை தெய்வமே கற்பகமே காண வேண்டும் உந்தன் பொற்பதமே என் கருணை தெய்வமே கற்பகமே காண வேண்டும் உந்தன் பொற்பதமே என் கருணை தெய்வமே கற்பகமே. So this is a very famous composition of Shri Madurai T. Srinivasan, and you must have come across this song in some of the Carnatic concerts. If you have not, please do Google this composition and definitely listen to it again. It's a very, very nice composition. We now have Amita and Ananya, who will be sharing a composition of Amita's paternal grandfather in the ragam Hindolam. And again, once I heard this song, I just fell in love with it. Amita and Ananya, over to you.
We would like to thank Aparnanti and NESS Brindavan for this excellent opportunity, and we are really excited to present this song.
ನಿನ್ನದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು ನಿನ್ನದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಗಾನ ಮಹಿಮನು ನೀನು ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಗಾನ ಮಹಿಮನು ನೀನು ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಹಗಲಿರೋಳು ಈ ಜಗದ ವ್ಯಾಮೋಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ ಹಗಲಿರೋಳು ಈ ಜಗದ ವ್ಯಾಮೋಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ ಹಗಲಿರುಳು ಈ ಜಗದ ವ್ಯಾಮೋಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂದೆ ಭವಬಂಧನದಿ ಸಿಲುಕಿ ನಾನು ನೊಂದೆ ಉದ್ಧರಿಸೆ ಬೇಡಲು ನಿನ್ನ ಬಳಿ ನಾ ಬಂದೆ ಉದ್ಧರಿಸೆ ಬೇಡಲು ನಿನ್ನ ಬಳಿ ನಾ ಬಂದೆ ಕನಿಕರಿಸು ಕಾಪಾಡು ಓ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ಕನಿಕರಿಸು ಕಾಪಾಡು ಓ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಪಾಮರನು ನಾನು ಎನಿದರೆ ನಯ್ಯ ಪಾಮರನು ನಾನು ಎನಿದರೆ ನಯ್ಯ ಪಂಡಿತನು ನೀನು ಪರಮ ಗುರು ನೀನಯ್ಯ ಪಾಮರನು ನಾನು ಎನಿದರೆ ನಯ್ಯ ಪಂಡಿತನು ನೀನು ಪರಮ ಗುರು ನೀನಯ್ಯ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂ ಭಜಿಸಿದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳ ಪರಿಹರಿಸಿ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂ ಭಜಿಸಿದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳ ಪರಿಹರಿಸಿ ಇಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವ ಓ ನನ್ನ ಗುರುವರ್ಯ ಇಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವ ಓ ನನ್ನ ಗುರುವರ್ಯ ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಘನ ಮಹಿಮನು ನೀನು ಗುರು ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯೊಂದು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬೇಕು
Wow, that was very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I hope you guys, both of you will be named as Hindolam sisters at some point. Hindolam sounds so beautiful in your voices. Thank you so much, Ananya and Amita, for sharing this beautiful composition of Amita's grandfather. Oh Lord, please show mercy on me. I just want that. Other than that, what do I need? You are the most learned one, O Shri Raghavendra. Day and night, I'm always thinking of my loved ones and never thought about you. I feel bad for never thinking about you. I have come to you now, asking you to give me salvation. Please show mercy on me and take care of me. I'm a human being and I have so many materialistic things that are of no use. You are the only one who knows what will happen tomorrow. Whatever difficulties I'm going through, you will always take care of it. I pray to you with all my devotion. This is such a needed composition in today's times because we really need to seek the blessings of gurus and blessings of deities because we are absolutely clueless about what is going to happen in this pandemic and how things are going to change. And I just hope things get better, and I just hope people don't suffer much. And these are small ways of showing your experience as well as what you seek in life. So this has been composed by Shri Gurumurthy Velal, a scholar, and his vast knowledge has made him be able to converse about a variety of topics from spirituality to world politics, with geography occupying the core of his heart. A keen musician, well known for Devarnama compositions, he was also trained in Carnatic vocal and Hindustani classical music. He was a great devotee of Guru Sri Raghavendra. Thank you so much, Ananya and Amita. It was a beautiful composition as well as very apt for today's current situation. Our Indian tradition and culture is what brings us together and unites us in many ways, because I am not a Telugu born, but I can easily connect with Telugu people because I have um, great passion towards the language Telugu, which was introduced to me through Carnatic music. And not only have I come to understand the beauty of the language Telugu, I have also been introduced to beautiful Telugu people, who are so open to learning and open to interacting and sharing, their culture and their practices, their tradition and everything. So culture and tradition really unites us, and it brings people together, and it gives us energy, makes us share a lot and learn a lot. And as I already mentioned in the previous sessions, we are emotional beings, and we do things, or we involve ourselves in activities from which we can draw energy, positive energy. And by doing so, we are hoping to create a balance inside us and outside of us. And happiness and peace go together. So now we present a beautiful composition composed by Shri Kanchi Periva, and that will be presented by Varsha Hari, Maitreem Bhajata.
Thank you, Parnati. I want to say thank you to you as well as NESRS Foundation for organizing this. I know this song is very popular and it's been sung by many musicians across the world, so including Mrs. Emma Subbulakshmi at the United Nations Conference. So I'm feeling very honored to be singing it today. It's a Ragamalika, so it starts with Yaman Kalyani and flows into Ragam Kapi afterwards. Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetri. Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetri. Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetri. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata. Yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata. Tyajata pareshwar kramamakramanam. Tyajata pareshwar kramamakramanam. Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetrim. Janani prithvi kamadukaste. Janani prithvi kamadukaste. Janako devah सकल दयालु. जनको देव सकल दयालु. नाम्य च दत्त दयत्वं जनता. नाम्य च दत्त दयत्वं जनता. श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनाना. श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनाना श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनाना श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनाना श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनाना. Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. This again is another reminder for us to, take us on the right path, cultivate friendship and humanity, which will conquer the hearts of everyone. Look upon others as similar to yourself. Renounce war. Forsake unhealthy competition. Forego unrightful aggression or acquiring by force. Mother Earth yields all that we require. God, our Father, is most compassionate. Practice restraint, be kind, and give to others. O people of the world, may all the people attain all goodness, happiness, and prosperity in this world, as well as spiritual upliftment. I'm so thankful and feel very, very blessed to have been able to share this composition in today's session. Everybody's experience and journey is, of course, different, but as mentioned earlier, we all seek the same things. We all want to be happy. We all want to be worry free, stress free. And this composition is a reminder that we need to correct our actions. Instead of, see, the composition said, Mother Earth gives us everything that we require. So basically, our needs are taken care by Mother Earth. But what we end up doing is we feed the greed instead of feeding the need. By feeding the greed, we are feeding our ego, and which gives way to all the other unwanted emotions: jealousy, anger, frustration, stress, anxiety. So if we just follow the orders of such great saints, composers, gurus, I think there will not be any other, things that we will seek to find happiness or to find peace. And we won't constantly keep blaming others, that our life is like this because of them, because of this, because of that group of people, this group of people. We will start living an all inclusive life, and that has been our culture, that has been our Hindu tradition and culture. And we are, by nature, we are people who are all inclusive. And by allowing ourselves to, go on the path of, being extremely competitive or aggressive or trying to show we are better, we definitely end up, regressing many steps in life. And then when we go down, we need to burn more fuel to go up. And what happens is, it, of course, it all, life evens out at the end. So we really need to do more of good karma, more of good deeds to bring us towards, upliftment or in the spiritual path. So it is in our hands, and gurus and saints have given us examples from their own life experiences. And by listening to those and by learning those, we can definitely put ourselves on the path of dharma, and the path that gives us and others happiness. um, it is important for us to give respect and be devoted to such gurus. And We saw so many composers by gurus, Vagyakaras, saints. Now we have a composition on Kanchi Periva that comes next, which will be rendered by Ashwini Venkatramani.
Namaskaram, everybody. Thank you, Aparna and NESRS Vrindavan for giving us this chance to sing in this event. It's an excellent initiative by Aparna. Thank you so much. And it is the need of this hour when we are trying to, go through the tough times, this pandemic. So this composition is called the Periyava Panchakam. So this has 5 stanzas. This is usually sung with the Periyava Suprabhatam. I think many of you would have heard Rajesh Vaidya, the Veena artist's rendition of this along with the Suprabhatam. So this is usually sung in Mahishasuramardini Stotram, Aigiri Nandini's tune. But now I'm going to present it in 5 different ragas in the Pancharatnam sequence of ragas. शिव गुरु नंदन शंकर शोभित काम पदांकित पीठपते शिव गुरु नंदन शंकर शोभित काम पदांकित पीठपते नृपजन वंदित विश्व मनोहर सर्वकलाधर भूतधनो नृपजन वंदित विश्व मनोहर सर्वकलाधर भूतधनो श्रुति मत पोषक दुर्मत शिक्षक सज्जन रक्षक कल्पधरो श्रुति मत पोषक दुर्मत शिक्षक सज्जन रक्षक कल्पधरो जय जय हे शशिशेखर देशिक कांची माटेश्वर पालय मां जय जय हे शशिशेखर देशिक कांची माटेश्वर पालय मां श्रीधर शशिधर वेद विकल्पन दोष निवार रमते श्रीधर शशिधर वेद विकल्पन दोष निवार रमते रघुपति पूजित लिंग समर्चन जात मनोहर शीतनो रघुपति पूजित लिंग समर्चन जात मनोहर शीतनो बहुविध पंडित मंडल मंडित संसदि पूजित वेद निधे बहुविध पंडित मंडल मंडित संसदि पूजित वेद निधे जय जय हे शशिशेखर देशिक कांची माटेश्वर पालय मां जय जय हे शशिशेखर देशिक कांची माटेश्वर पालय मां हिमगिरि सम्भव दिव्यसरीवर शोभिशिरोवर भक्ति हिमगिरि सम्भव दिव्यसरीवर शोभिशिरोवर भक्ति निज सकलागम शास्त्र विमर्शक पंडित मंडल वन्द्यतनो निज सकलागम शास्त्र विमर्शक पंडित मंडल वन्द्यतनो जन रंजक सूर्जन मानस रोशनी मार्ग वाक्य रते भूत जन रंजक सूर्जन मानस रोशनी मार्ग वाक्य रते जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय मधु समभाषण दूर्मत शोषण सजन भूषण मधु समभाषण दूर्मत शोषण सजन भूषण सुख मुनिदादज सूत्र विमर्शक शंकर बोध भाष्यरते निगमसुलक्षण राक्षण पंडित भास्वर मंडल पोषक हे निगमसुलक्षण राक्षण पंडित भास्वर मंडल पोषक हे जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय मां जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय मां प्रतिपति सुंदर रूप मनोहर पुत जन मानस सार सखे प्रतिपति सुंदर रूप मनोहर पुत जन मानस सार सखे नदरादर पुतय विमोहित काम कालेश्वर पूजक हे तुहि नदरादर पुतय विमोहित काम कालेश्वर पूजक हे कनकदरादर कार्मुकनन्दित काम कला दृढ़ भक्त निजे कनकदरादर कार्मुकनन्दित काम कला दृढ़ भक्त निजे जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय जय जय हे शशि शेखर देशिक कांति मटेश्वर पालय कांति मटेश्वरः पालय मां काञ्ची मटेश्वरः पालय माम्. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ashwini. Very beautiful song. I definitely would require the recording of this song. I want to learn it. She comes from a very Vedokta family. Her father is a great Sanskrit scholar and Veda Pandit. And we have been very blessed to have been introduced to her family. And thank you, Ashwini, for taking part.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
All the performers today are from Abhyas School of Music. They are all my students. And this lectum session has actually created an opportunity for me to dig deeper and also to enable students to come and get an opportunity to experience music. And definitely NESRS Vrindavan is doing an amazing job in creating us this platform. We all create a void in us because of our own actions, thoughts, and we unnecessarily we compare, compete, and end up compromising our Indian values. But art forms and traditions greatly help us in filling that void. And as you can obviously see that the compositions that came today are all, the experience and journey of those people who have gone through the rigor of life, the ups and downs, accumulating materialistic things, going after fame. Saint Tyagaraja in many composition has mentioned, going after fame or name, is futile. And these art forms actually make us stay connected to our roots, grow strong, and become independent thinkers, in my humble opinion. And they give us an identity, the language we speak, the food we eat, the activities we involve ourselves with. And they greatly contribute in showing who we are. Actually, if you think about me, Aparna Balaji, you don't look for my identity in my social security number or my license number. You know me as a Tamil speaking musician coming from South Indian tradition. So that's my identity. So tradition and culture really give us what we truly need, an identity, and also give us a path for us to become more spiritual in life. So everyone has their own journey and their own battles to fight, and they constantly work on restoring balance, yet continue to learn and improve on a daily basis. And art forms give us tools as well as techniques to do that very easily. For example, money is supposed to give you security, but the more you have money, the more insecure we become. And it has been proven time and again in this world. Knowledge, on the other hand, the more you share, the more it grows in you, and the more you learn, the more you are thirsty of gaining more knowledge. And during this pandemic, I sincerely pray to Lord Raghavendra that all beings should be safe, should be healthy, should find a balance. And I will be concluding today's session and this series of demonstrations with a small composition on Lord Raghavendra. After that, we can have a couple of questions by anybody who is on the Zoom call, and then it will be on to Srimati Ranjani. रोगहरण कृपा सागर श्री गुरु राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो रोगहरण कृपा सागर श्री गुरु राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो संतत दूर्वाति द्वांत दिवाकर संत विनुत मदलालिसो देवा रोग हरण कृपा सागर श्री गुरु राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो पावन गोत्र सुदेव वरणे तव सेवक जनरुळु आडिसो पावन गोत्र सुदेव वरणे तव सेवक जनरुळु आडिसो घन महिम जगन्नाथ विठल प्रिय घन महिम जगन्नाथ विठल प्रिय निನ್ನಾರಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿಸೋ देवा रोग हरण कृपा सागर श्री गुरु राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो राघवेंद्र परिपालिसो. If anybody has any questions, you can certainly ask. Yes, Mahati?
So my question kind of has to relate to spirituality with the younger generation, so like us, so teenagers and the generations right next door to us. So often when we think of spirituality, we kind of tend to correlate it with being older or being with a generation that's much before ours. So I'm just wondering if you think there are certain actions or certain pathways that teenagers and related age groups can take in order to kind of better align ourselves with a spiritual path that doesn't compromise on what it means to be a teenager.
That is an excellent question. Thank you, Mahati. Thank you for asking, because I know I have been sharing some really deep philosophy by some really, really great saints. How can we bring relevance? One, how can we bring relevance to youngsters? And two, how can we bring relevance to that in the modern living? So that was basically the idea of this entire lecture demonstration sessions. The first is, as I pointed out earlier, when I learned Anjike Yatakaya, I did not know the depth and meaning of what it actually meant. So it said, Sajjanarige Anjike Yatakaya. Why do have good people to be afraid of anything in life? So as I was not aware of it, I didn't know the meaning of it, but I just sang because my teacher, Sri Santana Gopalan, said, this is a beautiful composition, learn it. So youngsters, both in middle school and high school children, and also college going children, can try their best to be connected to their traditional culture. And that's the first step, because it is so hard to become spiritual out of the blue. As I said, none of us are swayambhus. So we have not had any kind of idea or thought original in our minds. Especially in Kali Yuga, groupthink is something that we always fall prey to. And it's not a necessarily bad thing. If there is a good aspect from a group think, we can definitely, for example, there are a lot of organizations and lot of groups of people who say that it is important for this current generation to be connected to their roots and tradition, and just by doing so you will start your journey. There has to be a starting point to even have a path, right? So I would suggest and request youngsters to start your path by exploring and learning and associating with our Indian tradition and culture. And you guys are, all of you, you're way smarter than us. I cannot speak for other people in this room, I'm sorry, but definitely me. And I've come to realize that with just a little bit of help, you guys just make it blossom so easily and so fast. And I have seen it in my school in Abhyas with respect to very young children, that you just give them, they're like a spark, all of them. All they need is a little bit of ignition, that's it. And there is energy and flame, and it just continues to grow in them. So to seed that thought, you need to seed the thought of being spiritual at all in life ever, you need to start the path by being connected to your roots. And by doing so you form, relationships with your friends, you form groups where you can share and explore more, and that will slowly shape you up and give you an idea as to what can be your path. So there are many different ways of experiencing the divine. I'm not going to say singing praise in Lord Rama only is the way. I'm not going to be so specific and exclusive about it. I can vouch for the fact that our Hindu tradition, our Hindu culture is all inclusive. And if you have the genuine thought of being on the dharma path, definitely you will be guided. And of course you'll become a seeker on your own. Once you have the thought that I need to do good deeds, I need to stay away from things that either hinder me or my surroundings or the environment, that thought itself will start making you a seeker. And once you become a seeker, you will seek things that will start your path or your journey towards realizing who you are, towards spiritual path, and also towards experiencing the divine, which is bhakti. Did I answer your question, Mahati? Was it good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Do you have any questions, doubts, anything that you want us to do differently? You can post in the comment section in the YouTube link. I know there are people viewing on YouTube. If you think we can improve this program in any way, please let us know, because I'm not going to be the only teacher doing this. There are plenty of very knowledgeable teachers amongst us. So this is just the beginning for any SRS to provide this kind of an opportunity for all of us. And I have actually gone through a metamorphosis through these 6 sessions, and I truly believe I have started my journey. And I also see that my journey has just begun, and it scares me to understand that I know so little, and there is so much to learn and improve every day. So I am very thankful to NESRS Brindavan for this opportunity. And amongst us, we have Srimati Ranjini Segal and Anil Segal from Lokvani. They don't need any introduction. You know them, in the community. They are amazing people. Ranjini is this force of energy. You look at her, you are energized. She's like the energy bunny is what I call her. And she's Mata Amritanandamayi when it comes to hugs. She hugs you and you feel so safe and happy. So, and she's involved in a lot of good deeds. She's of course the executive director of Ekal Vidyalaya. And I have had the great pleasure of knowing her, and also, working with her. And she has mainly supported this particular effort of ours, the lecture demonstrations. They have Anil ji and Ranjini, they have advertised about it in Lokmani, they have spread word about it, and they've always obliged to post articles about the lecture demonstrations. So we are very thankful to Ranjini. Ranjini, please say a few words and bless everybody. You have to unmute yourself, Ranjini.
The first thing I will say today is that I'm really feeling sorry for all those who did not attend this session. I think Lord Rama, did not bless them enough. Everybody is blessed, but today I think I was specially blessed today for sure. Because Aparna, I'm so glad that you reached out, because I mean, there's always things going on, and to make that focus, I think this should have been the most important thing that everybody should have done today. So really, I'm humbled and honored to be here amongst not only these wonderful youngsters, but also the adult singers. Oh my God, just phenomenal. Now, Aparna, I knew a lot about you, but I did not know the Katha Kalakshevam ability that you have, and that the deep philosophical understanding you have of all the kritis, which is what it is meant for, and that you have that understanding and you're willing to share it. Again, I think today whoever came is truly blessed. And I think this is one of the things that I always feel, corona sometimes is karuna, God's karuna, because without corona, we would have been attending a concert where you would have never said these things, right? We would have just got up and we would be saying, is the talam right or the ragam right, or X is right, and the intent of the whole thing often gets lost. And if you look at the Natya Shastra, Brahma gave this Vidya to us only for one reason, which was to bring about spiritual transformation in people. And that you're using this to that purpose, it really touches me deeply. I have to share something for everybody. You were asking, Mahati was asking this question about, children and spirituality and all of that. I don't know if you all know, but I'd like to share that me and my husband were very severely affected by COVID. We were in the hospital, and my husband was in the hospital. It was a very, very difficult journey. And I was very sick, and I was at home by myself. Nobody could come and see me. And I was worried sick about my husband, who was really, it's only God's grace that he came back. Now, what helped me at that time, what helped my children at that time, was all these wonderful scriptures, the songs given by all these great people who have selflessly, if you think of Tyagaraja, I heard a lot of stories at this time, and one that really touched me was, I believe Tyagaraja Swami was approached by assistant of Swadhi Tirunal Maharaja, and said, we just want you to come and meet Maharaja once, and of course Tyagaraja Swami was very impressed with Maharaja, and but Tyagaraja, and I believe Tyagaraja Swami invited this person who is also a very good musician to come and sing some of the kritis. And Swami said, this is beautiful. And he said, he really wants to meet you, because he's also a bhakta. He says, I am going to meet him, but not in the human, in the human realm. I will come. He will be in Vaikunta. Swami will be in, Swadhi Tirunal is going to Vaikunta. And I hope, I am so honored to be there. And if I am there, we both will be sitting at the feet of the Lord. To be able to reject such an offer from, a very good Swadhi Tirunal Maharaja was not unaware of, but he was very clear about his goals. And it is that, we don't remember all the Asthana Vidwans who made money at that time, or who were good performers, probably very good performers. What we remember is Swami, Tyagaraja Swami. And when he sings, it was when these COVID times were happening to me. What did I have with me? Everybody said, how are you dealing with this alone? I said, I have God, and I have these kritis, I have these stories, I have these music. And actually, For all you children, you are very blessed, I have to say, because I had these earlier, right? Suddenly, when COVID strikes, you cannot start a puja. It's very difficult. Believe me, it's really difficult. But I was honored that for some, I think that's Purva Janma Karma, that I was able to access these in a very deep way, and that is what kept me going. And I will tell for Mahati, who asked that question, my children were in very, very, it was extraordinarily difficult to think both your parents may not be here, and at that time, neither knew the Vishnu Sahasranama, neither knew the Aditya Hridayam. In that 3 weeks, they learned both of it, and like this, right? And so we believe that, it is what these difficult times will make you automatically connect to your roots. There is no choice. And everybody gets difficulty in life. Believe me, there is nobody here who is not going to have a day. I hope none of you have COVID. God bless you all. But there is some difficulty that's going to come. And Swami Sarvapriyananda, who I, interviewed during my COVID times, he was very kind. He said, always Bhagavan Buddha says there are two arrows that comes at you. The world throws one arrow. The other one you throw at yourself because you're depressed, you're upset. At least the scriptures and all these musics, all these philosophy shows you how to take out at least the other arrow, And for me, that, really, actually, many times I used to just take gods who used to sit in my altar. I used to do puja to them. I was giving them hug. You were talking about Mata Amritanandamayi. I am not allowed to hug anybody now. I'm grateful that I hugged people before, because now I am not allowed to hug people. So even the hug you cannot take for granted. It's such a simple thing. I cannot hug Aparna right now, right? Virtual hugs, yes. But God always allows you to hug him and her. I had my gods and they were sitting on my lap. They were not sitting in the altar. And I had all the access to these beautiful music created by great musicians like Aparna and like others, So don't worry, first of all, I totally agree with what Aparna said, if you do good work. I have to say another thing, that when I was sick, right, nobody, God has been kind. I got a few awards here and there. None of my award givers ever reached out to me. The people who reached out to me were people that I had worked with and I had helped. That is what makes a difference. So remember that, if God gives you an opportunity to serve somebody, take that opportunity, because you don't get that opportunity. You don't get an opportunity to hug. You don't get the opportunity to serve. It is really only God's grace. It is the grace of God to you that you get that opportunity, and automatically, and then learn the music, what Aparna has said here. And I think there was that beautiful, composition in honor of Chandrasekhar Saraswati. Oh my God. And again, I have to say, Shankaracharya, what is the value of having the Shankara Madam, right? I mean, the value was at that time, they have kept these scriptures for us, because if they didn't keep it, where would I go when I was suffering, right? So they have left it here. And in fact, I was reading Lord Raghavendra's last speech, and he says, now I take leave of you. Though I will not be with you in person, my presence will be in my works and in my Vrindavan. You can serve me best by propagating, studying, preserving, and listening to my works. My blessings to you. So that is what the great Raghavendra, the great Tyagaraja, every one of them. And, I got addicted to all the Shiva Puranas and, the stories of the four great saints, each one of their stories is, Upper Peruman became Upper Peruman because he got a really bad stomachache. If he didn't get it, we wouldn't have got this great, literature that we have with us that helped me, not for dance. I mean, I've used it for dance, but that is not what it is. And all of you who are learning music, remember, music, of course, I am not a singer myself, but I know it touches you deeply. But the words are very important. The words are really important. And I think, Aparna, today that came forth very strongly. Aparna, I love the scriptures, and words are very important to me. As dancers, we have to pay attention a little bit more, because, if you're not copying somebody's composition, you have to figure out what is it that you're saying. And imagine the God, that is important. The stories are important. Maybe, I don't know, again, as a musician, I think good musicians need to do the same, but at least you need to do that. So the more you learn from pandits like the father of Ashwini ji, great to have, in our community, we have great resources. And really, Brindavan, to NRS, any SRS Brindavan, thank you, for bringing this and bringing such gems like Aparna, to share her knowledge. And that is the thing, that there's so much knowledge and we need to share it. And I wanted to say one last thing is that Tyagaraja Swami, right, he always took unji urti, that is, he went and begged for food. Don't think of it as begging. It was not begging at all. He was serving the community by bringing his philosophy. When he went and asked for food, he was sharing his knowledge and he was being good to those people. So it's a very, unless you are that humble, you cannot be that great. And maybe, I don't know, in this group, like you said, Aparna, in our youngsters, who is going to be Tyagaraja Swami or, anything, Meera, I don't know. But whatever that is not important. As she said, you need to understand your soul. And when there is that spiritual opportunity, look inside you, take 5 minutes, whoever you are, to sit quietly and think about it. And I will say, when one of the things I also learned, this was my journey during COVID, is that when you're praying to God, really connect with the God. Don't say it mechanically. We are always saying Shuklam Bharadram Vishnum Shachivarnam Chaturbhujam. Do you even think of Ganesha at that moment? So it's an opportunity to connect. The more you do that, at least it's been my humble experience that it changes you inside very deeply. So I'm really honored and so glad that we had this small opportunity to spread the word about something good, like Raghavendra ji says, right? It's an important thing to share the work, to tell everybody, because we are not selfish. We are all these little, we are all connected. Corona has taught us that we are all connected. If one person gets it, everybody is going to suffer. So really use these quiet times to really learn more and to really go forth on your spiritual journeys. I am sure all of you are doing that. Aparna, you said that again. God has blessed you that you got this opportunity. And I have to say, working with you was the most fun. So maybe God will give me that opportunity again to work with you and move things forward. Namaskaram. Thank you so much for this very, very humble opportunity. Thank you. Mangalam Shubha.
Absolutely, Ranjini. Thank you. You are a diamond now, because you went through the rigor of COVID. You went through the rigor of an internal change, and you are now again on the path of spirituality, right? So you are a diamond in our community, and of course you'll keep shining and keep serving this community in various ways. And we are eternally indebted to all the things that you support us with. Thank you. On to RVG from NESRS Brindavan.
Namaskara. Thanks, Ranjini ji. So glad to see you again in person, even though it's virtual. And Aparna ji, thanks for the opportunity. Pujjaya Raghavendraya Satya Dharmarataya Cha Bhajatam Kalpa Vrukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave. I'll take few minutes. Hare Srinivasa. So again, I would like to congratulate and also recognize Aparna ji as part of this amazing learning demonstration session. So whoever is there on the call, please give her a big round of applause virtually. And by Sri Hari Vayu Gurugal blessings, it all started as an idea which Aparna ji and I discussed during last year's NESRS Vrindavan's Rairu Aradhana. So we can't even believe that the Rairu Aradhana this year is coming up in 10 days. And that was in September of 2019. Aparna ji took the idea to heart. She crystallized into a theme-based series of knowledge-imparting learning demonstrations. These sessions introduced the roots of music, and as part of the journey, opened up avenues to this ocean of musical knowledge. These sessions were beautifully and logically arranged, and NESRS Vrindavan want to thank for all the seva Aparna ji has done, has performed through these sessions and opened up the new paths of knowledge exploration for music seekers, lovers, and students alike. We also want to recognize Aparna ji with a small token of recognition from NESRS Vrindavan. So I'll just show it here. Aparna ji, whenever you and Balaji get a chance, please collect it.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
And then another small token.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
We'd also want to thank Mr. Balaji Avare for all his support and working with us for AV setup and making sure all these sessions are smoothly run. So it's not a small task. It looks easy after it's done, but it's not. We want to thank all of you who made these sessions a success. We request you to participate in such similar ones now into future with Apannaji and all the other great teachers who will follow. Our beloved Rairu Aradhana this year, as I mentioned, is between August 4th and 6th. So it is 3 days we celebrate Rairu Aradhana celebrations in a grand way. Typically, we do it in a big venue with 800 to 1,000 people attending with full-fledged banana leaf meals that are served as well as cooked on site with muddy and a whole process of puja and Panchamrita Abhishek, Pallaki Seva, you name it, like all of those happen in that particular venue, and it's a ritual of its own for everyone's view to look at it. This time we are doing all those sevas at the Mata, and instead of 1 day, we are doing all 3 days, 4th, 5th, 6th. Again, like to Ranjani Are's point, right? This COVID has given us the opportunity to actually broadcast it live across to all the devotees to participate and be part of it. And we also request Apannaji and other teachers like Ranjani ji and others and artists to be part of NESRS Vrindavan and provide their seva and support now into future. Namaskara.
We will miss the meal. I so look forward to that wonderful meal. So eat for us, please. Mangalam Shubham.
Yes. Thank you very much, RVG. Thank you, Ranjani, for being here. And thanks to all the participants, all the people who signed up, in making this very energetic and interactive. And I really thank all the families who have supported this series of lecture demonstrations. NESRS Brindavan is going to host such sessions going forward, involving other local teachers. And this is a journey of seeking knowledge. So we don't have to hold back. We definitely have to, support and participate as much as we can. And thank you, all of you. Stay home, stay safe with your loved ones. And I hope to do many such explorative work involving students and people from our community. Of course, with the able support of people like RVG and Ranjani. Thank you so much. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.
Namaskara.
Namaste.